Cool. We're back.
We're back.
We had 2-week break.
2-week hiatus.
Yay.
2 week of sickness. Anders is still a little bit sick, I think.
Man, I'm just coming back, getting back.
I don't think I ever seen you sick this long, Anders.
Seriously, like, is it the
I don't
age?
know. Did someone put something in your?
Is it the
I question myself. I'm like, is that the age?
Foreshadowing,
Or it's like, I don't know how does it feel.
Yeah.
So
I think it's.
I don't think it's the age.
I think it's the maybe how your like metabolism kind of got hit. With
Metabolism?
No, not the metabolism. So what I mean
Immune
is that like
system?
how your immune system got hit from the different type of sickness. Because I think maybe it's because it came from kids. You know, maybe you weren't ready for that. Maybe that strain of.
I'm blaming the Kita for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Maybe it was a triple sandwich. You got like one sickness and the second one and the third one.
Yeah, and all came from multiple kids. Just
The most annoying thing is probably is like even like the whole virus that developed. The most annoying thing about being a parent and being sick is that if the sickness comes from the Kita, right, then your kid brings it home.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid is sick, then you are incubating the virus, and then you get sick a bit later.
Yeah.
By the time you're sick,
She's well.
exactly, full of energy through the house, running, and I'm like,
And you're like,
she's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you test yourself for corona?
yeah.
Well, you went.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I
Negative,
knew.
yeah.
But you knew
No one cares
already.
anymore.
You knew it wasn't positive. You knew it wasn't corona.
I don't know. I thought
I mean,
like
could
this
have been, I guess.
could be. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
it's like I went to my doctor last week and she was like, "Was it corona?" I was like, "No," and she was like, "Did you test yourself?" I said, "No." She was like, "Okay."
You have years of experience.
I've years of experience.
So
multiple times.
Yeah.
Times. Yeah. I remember when I got corona, funny enough, it was very interesting actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good story.
Yeah.
sounds really interesting. Yeah. Sounds
it was like honestly that was the first time I was forced to like I had to chill. There was no and I really wasn't sick. I genuinely wasn't sick. I was positive, so like the test was positive. But honestly I was having the best time of my life.
If we keep talking about this topic, we might get this blue
Skill,
everything on
exactly. I was thinking
on
about
Spotify,
this.
right? Let's talk a bit more about your experience. Sure.
Did you manage to chill, Anders, during sickness?
Yeah. I did, but I'm not good. I'm not good at relaxing.
Yeah, I heard.
What did you do when what made you relax?
I think like first of all, it takes me a few days to get into relax modus, and then first of all, I started like cleaning like the room that we prepare for Joy. So like kind of like
Cleaning is not relaxing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
so that
Well, maybe
I need to do
maybe it
something
is.
to get into relaxing, and then kind of like you get into the relaxing.
Yeah, like
part.
you have a clean house.
Yeah.
Your mind is also at ease.
Yeah.
It's easier to sleep well at night.
Or I find something really, really cool to watch, and then I can watch a whole season of something.
Yeah.
Just binge
But
it.
Sheila says that also it's not relaxing, that you are like you're constantly watching something episode after episode. But I think like that's a
Yes.
really good way for me to relax.
Wow,
I guess
think
it's
the
relaxing
best.
for your body, but not your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it though. Like I won't do it regularly, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe once every second quarter, just like binge a whole season of something.
Did you watch Andor?
No, not yet.
I want
That
to watch.
could have
the
been a
Band-
good one to watch when I was sick.
I binged the whole. I told you last episode. I binged it the whole thing in the airplane.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
The one that I want to watch now is Succession. The 3rd season is out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did you watch the first two?
No, I heard about them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. HBO as well.
Yeah,
HBO.
but HBO. Do you have HBO now, and you don't have the
No.
other ones?
No, like I don't have it. I had like this. I think this Sky TV or something that I subscribed for a month, and then I watched the whole thing in a month, and then I
Nice.
unsubscribed.
Yeah, I see. Playing the game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Don't hit the player.
because there are not many other things that I want to watch there. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
You watching The Mandalorian each week?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
No.
as well.
but it's
Good.
also the whole thing out, right?
No, it's one episode. The last episode comes out today. Yesterday, I think.
Tomorrow?
It's already out. I think.
Okay, it's already out. Yeah. So I did watch the first episode, but then I just waited to.
It's a good one. And also, I watched yesterday. We watched the latest episode of Ted Lasso. The new season is very good. You haven't watched it, right?
I mean, I haven't watched it. No.
Look, this guy's been sick for 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
didn't watch anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the one thing that everybody does. They catch up on all the things.
Okay,
they
I
wanted
have to
watch.
confess. I started watching something really like random.
Well, what are you watching?
The Rookie.
The Rookie?
I don't know that one.
What's that about?
It's a
I feel like-
it's a cops TV show on Netflix.
Oh, no, I seen a clip
Yeah.
from on TikTok. I seen a clip
Yeah.
from it.
Which is like, it's not bad, but it's not great. And it's kind of like this. I'm like, oh, it's like a 90s show on cops on LA, in LA. So the whole plot of the thing is that this guy is 40. That's what got me interested. So this guy is 40.
Representation.
And exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have to see with the camera.
Yeah,
how it
for everyone listening on Spotify, we had some issues with a LED sign that Isaac has this place.
The LEDs.
No, what is it? It's a neon sign.
Yeah, you have to go to YouTube and to see it.
Okay, it says the non-Berlin Berliners.
Yeah, exactly.
TNBB in
Chinese.
Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Google it.
quote that.
Yeah. The nice job.
I don't know why did it just start beep from nowhere?
I don't know. It's always super weird with neon signs and audio.
I threw away my phone. I need it back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. So what was the rookie, right?
The
So
Rookie, yeah.
sorry, like I'm not going to spend more time on it, but I want to tell you the whole idea. So the rookie, he's 40, and I think his relationship, his marriage falls apart, and his career also he doesn't like. So he decides to change his life. So he does the police academy, and he goes through. And he basically at 40 decides he wants to do something good for people. So he becomes a policeman, and he's the rookie. He's one of the rookies.
He's a
rookies in the
rookie
year,
at 40.
but he's 40.
Yeah.
So it's all this tension that he's like, he's a rookie, but also he's really has a lot of life experience because he's 40. So it's not the 20 years old that come into the police academy.
And then they're like super.
Yeah. So that idea got me like, oh, that's interesting. I can also change my whole life when I'm 40.
Yeah.
That's
Why
true.
not?
Isn't like 40 when you get midlife crisis and stuff like that everybody keeps on top?
Bro, I think it's 30.
Yeah.
I
It's 30,
exactly.
bro.
I had it at 39, so I don't have to have it at 40.
Okay.
Yes,
How was that?
I mean,
How was that? Could
It's
you
a
talk
tip
about
for
it?
everyone that wants to is listening right now, that if you want to have a midlife crisis, just have it a
Before
year
40.
earlier. Yeah. And then you don't need to have it. You can enjoy the 40s.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bro, but that's a good question.
Easy.
We're gonna get into that pretty much because the topic for today is getting older.
Yes.
But first of all, welcome
Welcome.
to the non-Berlin
Berlin
Berliner.
Berliners. Sheesh.
We're back, baby.
Back and active.
My name is Isaac.
My name is Joshua.
Andres,
Boom. And how old am I now? 27.
Wow,
I'm turning 28 very soon.
that's crazy. 22. I'm 22.
40 plus.
I think it's going to stay here for a long time.
No,
Anna's
it's
her
a-
birthday
41.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
a
go.
week ago.
Yeah, about
Exactly, yeah. Exactly a week ago.
Do you remember we started recording the podcast and I was like 40 in a few weeks or months, right?
Yeah.
And we started with a joke of 40 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
yeah, true.
Now it's actually 40
yeah.
plus.
Now it's actually
Yeah.
now it's actually 40 plus. Wow.
Yeah. Well, but that's
Middle of your
beautiful.
40s.
Not yet.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
Bring that back. That joke is not good.
The next joke. It only gets worse.
It only
Okay.
gets- everybody's going up and I'm the only one going down.
We'll keep it 40 plus for a while
Yeah.
to feel good. No, I thought today we want to talk about getting older. Because I was thinking about Andres. No, I was, because it was Andres' birthday. I was like, what could we talk about? And then I was like, oh yeah, getting older is interesting.
Yeah,
And
that's
sounds-
true.
Because
good, yeah.
that's how birthdays work, right? We get older.
Yeah.
And we all are older in our own age.
Such a good wisdom in that.
We all
Every day that passes on, you get older, right?
Exactly. So, but yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Everything good?
You know, chilling,
Yeah.
relaxing. But I've been good.
Good.
I think life is good.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here then.
Nah, but I think like relating to getting older, for me, thinking about it right now, it doesn't really feel like I feel like or Andres can correct me or you guys can tell me. I feel like the older you get, time just flies quicker. You know, I feel like when I was younger, the days felt longer. And nowadays it's like 1 year is just gone like this. For example, at least last year didn't feel as short as this year feels. Like we're almost in June and then it's like half of the year. I feel like we just started 2023 a couple of weeks ago. Like that's how it feels in my head. Right? And it's like we're almost halfway through. Summer comes to an end and then the whole cycle again. It's like back to where we kind of started. And I'm like,
I'm wondering if it's like when you're younger, you always think about, oh, I wish I was this age, or I wish I was done with this, and that's why it feels like it goes
Slowly.
slower then, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt things went pretty quick in like 20s.
Yeah.
Always when you look back, it feels quicker.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
true. Maybe
exactly.
that's looking back
Yeah,
the problem.
But I think I could remember it felt long for me at the time. Whereas now it's like obviously the days are still the days, but I guess you have a point because you are in the kind of in that flow state, know what you are doing and you're really just doing the thing. You're not really thinking about it. Time just flies.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that time was like, oh my God, when are we leaving class? When is break time? When are we going to eat? Like stuff like that. I guess that waiting, checking the time makes it feel slower. That could be it.
Also, when you get bored, I think that's more like when you are younger than when you are older. I think that don't get so bored when you don't have time to get bored.
Exactly.
Because you choose. Well, you don't always choose.
You can always do something great.
Yeah. That's
Honestly, I'm overstimulated now.
Yeah.
I feel like I have like 6 hobbies I want to do at the same time.
But you're really killing it with the side hobbies
With
thing right now. I won't even lie to you. Like I say, I'm like
That's the old
Isaac
people
is the
thing.
most pro side hobby guy that I know. That's really like you're not pushing it a bit. You're like pushing it to the realistic limit of a hobby. Okay, maybe I feel like after you is no longer a hobby.
But life has too many fun things to do. But that's the hard thing, because if you don't focus on the main things, you just like doing all things.
Yeah, which is a completely different conversation of right
Yeah.
opportunity cost of like
Yeah.
when you choose by choosing excess, you are also not choosing like kind of the vertical growth in one.
I think also connected to that is you always feel that time goes faster when you want to do things, or you have like some plan to do stuff that you don't do.
What do you mean?
Like for example, if you plan to, let's say you plan to be good at drums,
Sure.
right? And let's say it's January,
Mm-hmm.
and then we are almost in May, and you look back and say like, oh, I only played twice. Time is gone so fast.
Yeah.
True.
Right? And I think that always, but if you would have been playing every day and becoming really good, you would have, I don't think you have that feeling that time's gone so fast.
Interesting.
Right?
That's true. I guess you can have the same feeling, but in a good way. Like for example, say at work, you had 6 months of work where you learned a lot, you did a lot, you had very busy days. You still feel like it went fast, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also you actually learn maybe more than you did the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the same feeling, right? I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
That's so interesting with the. I mean, I don't know. Like it also feels. I always say to my family when I went first from Berlin back to visiting the family, and then they asked me, "So what is different in Berlin?" And I always said like time goes faster in Berlin
Yeah.
because you can be always busy with something, always doing something, always, and then you look back and like, well, what happened?
Well, the years like
Right?
yeah, that's so powerful. But also, I think, do you think it's a Spanish thing to also be very not laid back, but more of like the whole like
Yeah, you're
taking
more
your time,
relaxed, yeah,
relaxed, kind of going through the thing
Yeah.
with maybe not with intention, but more like at a slower pace.
I think this is such an interesting topic, the whole thing of like needing to do something all the time, because I feel like if for example if I'm bored or whatever, I'm like, oh, I could have created some content or whatever, I could have done something, but that doesn't mean that the thing I would do would matter. But and I was trying to explain like the feeling of having to do something, because it could be gaming, and
Yeah.
gaming doesn't bring any value to my life in a big way, but it feels like I'm doing something.
Yeah, that's
Or could be also spend time on your phone. It's super interesting. Whenever a couple of times, if I forget my phone at home or something, and then you feel like, okay, I'm going for a walk, but I need to get back. So, like I don't know, like something that yours is connected to this feeling
Yeah.
of doing something all
doing
the time.
something all the time. That's
Yeah.
true. Like just always having
Yeah.
something, trying to be ultra productive. So I was like over the last month, I've been fasting. So from the end of last month to like 2 days ago.
Ramadan.
Yeah, exactly. And funnily enough, I don't know. It's also the second thing with food. For example, I just realized how much distraction happens. Also, no, I would say the other way. How much peace when you are not thinking about so many other things. So, for example, when there's one decision that is made of like, oh yeah, we're not eating today, I don't have to think about if I'm hungry, obviously after a while, because you honestly the appetite just goes away after like the first 6 days. The appetite for food just kind of dissipates. You just don't think about it anymore. Your body just adapts. But more importantly, it's the other mental stuff. What are we going to eat? When are we going to eat? Are we going to cook the food? Are we going to buy the food? Are we going to prepare the food? Are we going to wash the plates after? And then tomorrow, and then you do that 3 times every day. So there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And let's say you don't eat breakfast, you still have lunch and dinner. But it's like that's alone tends to be like maybe 2.5 hours of just sorting things out. And then when like during this period, it was just like nix. They was just like, oh, I guess kind of the decision is made for you. But it's the same thing with the phone. Like
in Berlin, I think people already made some like really easy decisions for that. Like what doner shop I'm gonna go today? Like, what fried chicken?
Yeah, that's true. What fried chicken? Except I don't know if I can afford that lifestyle.
No. No, but I understand what you're saying. Like this kind of like when you remove one component from your everyday life, you realize how much energy and things
that thing was taking.
Yeah. Because, for example, the past weeks I haven't been playing League of Legends. Yeah. I explained this game, right? It's like super competitive, and each game is an hour, and you want to play like maybe 3 games a day
because one game is too. It's like not enough. You don't really get the.
Yeah, that's like I don't know what would be a good example, but it feels kind of like you warmed up.
Yeah.
Maybe like you can call it like a. Practice in basketball, but it's not the game.
It's not the game.
But then you want to, after that warm up, you want to actually show your skills.
Yeah.
Then maybe the first game you actually lost.
Okay, the second one,
you know, the second one I'm gonna.
That's running
win,
back. Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So, but you realize like because I haven't been playing that the past weeks, and that's like frees up 2-3 hours. Like what?
Great.
That's so much time.
That's so much time, exactly. That's so much time. And it compounds over like days. And for me, that was the thing, because it was like, I was like, over this month, it really helped me like really push finding the projects. Because when everybody's going, let's go and get lunch, by the time they go, they come back. I'm like, I just like sat down alone, music's in my head. I was just typing or like doing this thing. And then it stacks up day after day after day. And it's like, it kind of helps. And obviously I end up only spending 1 hour a day thinking about food at all. Which is like,
you know what's another aspect of that for me right now, where I am, is that with Joy, right? She's soon to turn 2 years old, and like I catch myself so many times on trying to spend time with her, but at the same time checking things on my phone, and then she sees that so much, so like she tries to call for attention. So it's also that's another thing. Like you need to spend some good time that is dedicated for that, right? Not like just like 5 minutes and I can quickly check here, like kind of like playing with her, but not. So I think I need to also be better at that, like how like switching off the distraction to see like, okay, this is good time. Like you would do it for a hobby, you would do it for anything, right?
But if I know you correctly, kind of similar, like I think how I am, like you would need a activity then. Maybe you go to the park, right? Or you go to the playground, and then you come up with some game with Joy, you know, let's play this game. And then you're focused, right? Then it's
now what she likes is that one song that she really likes, like
Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah, Tick Tick Boom. We can I can pick that later. Put the link. And once I play it, I need to replay it like 20 times. And her quality time with me is that I'd hold her and we start dancing through the house, right? So like full of energetic dance.
Yeah.
And that she loves, and she's laughing and dancing and then again and again and again.
There's no end. It's like
it's no end. Yeah. So I think like, okay, that's one. But then you need to be really on that. It's a workout
it's
dance.
a full workout,
And you really focus. But I cannot just play the song and sit down and do all the thing, because then she would look at me and say, like, what's happening? Like, tick tick boom, tick tick boom.
That's true.
Yeah,
you gotta,
But like, I don't know, we can like talk about all these divisions, but I think it's bringing it back to age. I feel like one of the biggest things that I think I'm realizing is like the older, or at least this year for me, the biggest thing that I realize is like you're always choosing, you know, with your, because obviously we're talking about age, we're talking about time. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, it wasn't always my choice. 100%, or even when it was my choice, if we picked the last episode or the last episode when we talked about saying no and saying yes and things like that, sometimes it was still your choice, but it wasn't really your choice, because that's not 100% what you wanted to do. It's really been interesting. I think the older you get, you start to realize what you actually want to choose, right? Actively be choosing. I think, for example, maybe with Andres, it's more of like, you know, he kind of, he doesn't have to think as much about it. and maybe with you is the same, maybe on a lesser scale, right? If there's a spectrum, maybe Andres is the most seen so many cycles that it's like he knows himself enough to be like, yeah, I want that, or I don't want that, or and I think for you probably you're definitely more on the scale than I am, and then I think I finally just got to this point on the scale where it's like, this is what time and self-awareness feels like. I think I didn't really have that till this year. There's something, I don't know, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it, but
I think it's hard and a little bit scary to think about it, and that's why I think people get stuck into things, because it's scary to think that you should do something else. Because like I was thinking a lot the past weeks about like what I do for a living, you know, programming, and it was my dream for a long time, and then, you know, when you achieve your dream, what happens then?
Yeah, what's the next thing?
But yeah, there's many things you can do there, but then it's kind of like, but it's very scary to think, oh, what would happen if I just stop programming and doing something else? You know, that's like, I know we talk about it all the time, you know, with growth mindset and everything, so it's super doable. I believe in it, but doing it is very scary.
It's very different. It's very, very different.
And
exactly, and I think that the growth mindset is something like really interesting to through the years to keep purposefully checking yourself. Also, like where are you at with that? Because I think the older you get, the easier it is to get a fixed mindset, because what you said, like
you've just have so much cycles.
You've gone already through many cycles. You know how you can say, I know how people are. I know how these things work. I know how, like, you know, I already experienced that a few times. Nothing. I never want to lose that. To keep that like excitement and growth mindset and learning new things wherever age I am. Like I'm thinking now about, man, 10 years, in 10 years I want to be 50, right? So like you're already thinking in that 1 decade, so how am I going to be when I'm, and I think that makes you a bit more like aware of like, okay, yeah, like time is limited. What are you using your time for? What are you using? I think, I don't know, I'm not like really in depressed mode or anything like that, but I think like you want to make good choices about what you do.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of things that we do for, if you think about learning, studying, or finances, when you want to grow your finances, but not many times we talk about time, on how you using your time, how you spending your time. You know, and I think that's something that you build your memories from. That's something that you actually, that's what you're using your time. That is the limited thing that you have, right? So how you gonna spend that? And it cannot be only related to achieving something, which I'm competitive. I know I want to achieve things, but it cannot be only related to that. I think what's the time that and I think this whole thing with having a family kind of like challenged that a bit on your own thinking. And I think that is for me, how am I spending my time? Which for me, like, to be honest, let's say going to a picnic to the park is not the most thing that I look forward to, or, you know, like think.
But a picnic at the park playing spike ball?
Maybe. That, you know, that makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I get what you. But I think I'm getting what you mean. Yeah.
But I think like this whole thing about like how am I spending my time, that I don't want to look back and think, oh, like these whole years are gone, and I was like not really enjoying that moment.
Yeah.
So I think wherever you are, and really enjoying where you are as well.
In the moment. That's so true.
That makes me think about. I heard it from this podcast called Battle Ready. And this one of the guys, he's what's his name? Irving McManus. Is that the older guy? Yeah. He's like 60 or something. And he talks about this topic of what to focus on when it comes to growth. And I mean, quite cliche, but I think it's very true. And also hearing it from the older guy makes it more interesting than right.
Sure.
And he talks about like the thing for, if you talk about happiness, is the thing we should focus on in growing in is all of those very, like, I guess you call them soft skills. So he says, for example, one of his daily goals is always to grow in thankfulness or generosity. And I mean, that sounds maybe like super weird or like fluffy when you talk about it. But he explains it's like, this is something that you can you know, tell yourself each day in the morning, okay, today I'm gonna be more generous. I'm gonna grow in my generosity. And that's not something that is measurable in the same way as like oh, today I'm gonna be this much better on this instrument.
Yeah.
But you're becoming a better person, and I believe looking back at it, you won't be like, oh, what a waste of time becoming more generous, or what a waste of time becoming a nicer person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you heard that's saying before? Because maybe it's a basic one, but I like the thought.
I like the thought, and I think that makes sense because brings a lot of being purposeful about doing something, and we'll talk again about time and growth and how you look back on something. I think you will never regret that you've been purposefully choosing to grow on these things,
Right?
right? Because then because if otherwise it just happens to you, and that's where you look back and think, oh, what happened this year? Oh, what happened? But anything that I think if I can imagine it now, I think you start adding layers of being intentional about your day, right? So you're intentional at work. You are saying right now you're intentional in this interaction with people, of being more generous, or being more. All these things, you're adding layers of what you are intentional at, which will make your day. Like the whole day makes you achieve something.
Yeah.
That you wanted. You designed your day, right?
Yeah.
You wanted that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's a bit more deep than just going to the gym or going to work.
Yeah.
You know, you're making the whole, like your whole persona is growing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's really, really cool about that is, I said, like, there's no right or wrong thing. Like, even what Isaac is saying, I think what's powerful about it is that you get to play the game. You get to choose what is growth, what is not growth. You get to, basically, you are the one that, it's like an infinite game, right? So there's no real end. It's like this infinity loop that keeps on going back and forth, and then you keep on playing, but you get to decide the rules of the game. But the benefit of the game is that the game never stops. So you can always, like, the game is playing the game all the time, kind of thing. And I think that's really cool. Another thing that I feel like over this year, that has, I think, it been perspective was when my grandmom died. I think for me that was the most. I've never had like a epiphany moment like that, in like since, and I'm not that old, but like because obviously yes, like I've had other grandparents that have died, I've had aunties maybe, but I was too young to have a perspective to it. But when it happened, it was like, it wasn't even in a bad way, because it was like, it's my grandmom. Eventually, she has to get to a certain point that she's not going to be here anymore. So it wasn't that, it was just how quick it happened. And then it was like, and it was because it was cancer. It was like, that could have been me, not in a bad way, but that could have been anybody else. It wasn't like age dependent. Obviously, you know, people that are younger have cancer as well. People who are older have cancer. Anybody can have it. But I think that was then like, wow. And then it was like in a span of 2 weeks, she was alive, and then she was no longer alive. And then I think for me it was that whole process of thinking, how are we really choosing the intentional things that we are choosing, because we are growing old. And even if like we remove this whole like cancer, if you had 2 weeks to live, what would you do? But more of like, if a decade goes by and you're like, oh my God, I didn't take anything away from this, how are you feeling about it? Because you are good, you know, these days are going by very, very quickly, and not even in a bad way. Like I was like super, even like I was finding it was just more, I was like, okay, I think I need to be more intentional. First of all, find out what it is, and then be more intentional in like picking those things consistently. Because as you said, these days stack up on each other, then weeks, then years, and you start going in a direction. And if you are not choosing that direction, you are going somewhere. It's just maybe not where what you wanted or something like that.
Yeah, because that's the problem with achieving goals, is that it doesn't bring any lasting happiness, because achieving a goal just means that now it's the next goal.
Yeah.
But like, for example, have you ever regretted giving someone a gift? maybe you remember something funny, but like I guess you never really regret being nice to someone.
Yeah, no.
Maybe if they were really bad, like not nice to you after, but
yeah, that's their problem.
It's hard to, like those things you don't really regret.
Yeah.
But say you spend 4 hours studying something, and then you achieve that master or whatever, but then you don't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe you regret it. I don't know. But I think that's more like the difference, I think, because achieving something is very, like, I get very driven of like, oh, like I'm going to achieve this goal. But don't think about why I want to achieve that goal. It's like a competition then, right?
Yeah.
One thing I learned, like over the years, I do that mental exercise. I picture myself on the other side of achieving that goal. right?
Yeah.
And could be anything. Could be like having something, or could be like achieving something like with, work or with like studies or anything that you is a goal that you want to achieve. Because once you see yourself on the other side, and you see, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Right? What are you gonna do there? And you can imagine another goal, or kind of you play this game that you imagine yourself already on the other side of it, or could be an exam, could be, and then it gives you a lot of perspective as well from the whole like being patient about things. It's exactly the goal is not the goal, like it's what's happened after, like what's the journey? Are you gonna enjoy this time? So I think that helps me a lot to bring myself a bit into that perspective, into exactly not playing only for that goal, because once you achieve it, you're gonna go for the next, for the next. It could be with finances, could be with anything. So,
but it's funny how, because that makes you. I'm just thinking like example for Joshua here, because I think it's really interesting, because that makes you think in different ways. Because say Joshua, now you're rich, you have a rooftop apartment in Berlin, and you're there, you're single. What do you do?
Don't be single.
No, but you're single. What would you do with your rooftop apartment and your money?
Invite us.
It would be the next thing would probably be to like fill it up with friends and share the time with people.
Most likely, right?
Yeah, that would probably be the next. Like,
so suddenly it's not. Suddenly the goal doesn't matter that much, right? It's actually the bringing the friends into it, because the goal was just made it just made some aesthetic different, right?
So let me ask a question there, because for me at least, which is like there are two things I wanted to say, but let me say this one first because we're in this topic. Is it only me that feels like because I, for example, like I like holidays, but I like holidays the way I want to have them, right? So those are two different things. Like I don't like holidays how I. So for example, it's like I don't know if I would want to travel and then I don't know, maybe not like kind of do it the cheap travel way and like doing a hostel and then sleep with like 7 people in one room as well, and then like and do the whole like travel around Europe in a backpack. Like I don't think that's my vibe. Like,
sure.
It's not my
you're a
bag.
bougie guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm 100% like that bougie, but I definitely would. I think at least I would just prefer to like, I don't know, be normal, like take a flight, like just go to a hotel, like say like I don't necessarily think I would be like the whole like maybe the guys that are like, oh yeah, don't worry, no suitcase, only
but that's
backpack.
like people in your current financial situation,
exactly.
but they still like have to travel. I guess that's what you do then, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or even I guess there's also some people maybe after that are still like in that lifestyle. But the point I'm even trying to make is that, is it weird to say that the like in the example you said, like the party, the inviting people around doesn't feel worth it if you don't have the luxury apartment or whatever, like the example was the rooftop thing in Berlin, like it just doesn't feel as, because then I don't get to like celebrate the time with everybody the way I would like to, because then the entire process is like, what am I doing tomorrow? How does tomorrow, do you get like, because for me it's always been like, it's not that I just wanted the rooftop apartment or whatever that example was, but it was more like, I feel like when you didn't have that, you're always thinking about like tomorrow or today, and then you can't really.
But in this example, you're a CEO and you need to take care of your company, and tomorrow is a big day.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying like,
no, but
it's always gonna be, I think,
a thing
depending on how your life look, right? But especially if you want to be like a high level successful person, you're gonna have even more stuff, right, to think about.
Yeah, for sure. That's like a steady. I just think like in terms of relaxing, I just never knew if it was like I wanted to, like the relaxing never felt fun if it wasn't done how I kind of wanted it to be done.
I think relaxing is a myth.
No, not relaxing, but
no,
what
I'm saying,
like,
I'm just, I don't know. I think this is recording a podcast with you guys. That's relaxing, I think. Yeah,
that's like active. What we call in sports, we call it like active recovery.
Okay, we're so off topic.
Yeah, we're so off topic. Like we can talk about this another time.
I want to bring it a little bit into topic because I think it's really interesting. So I wanted to the first question. I think this is cool. What did you think about your current age when you were 16 to 18, around that age? So you're 22, 3?
Yeah,
23. What did you think about someone being 23 when you were 16?
Well, I thought they were so far ahead. I thought they were like, wow, this guy is probably like, like I remember the uncles I had, or like the cousins that were like, older and the university or just graduated university. I was like, oh my God, he's you know, and then
He's
they would
23, so
yeah,
old.
exactly. And they would buy us like these Nerf guns and stuff. They would be the cool uncles, you know, the ones you want to spend the time with that drive you around and like, let's go buy food and stuff like that. What did I think of myself at this year? I thought I would probably be the same. Not like where I am, but I thought I would be like playing basketball or something.
Right.
I thought it would be, yeah.
This is a good question. It's a good question. But I think, like, I'm just thinking right now, when I was 16, if I looked to a person that was 40, I think it felt so disconnected.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it is so much right now. Because when I was 16, so many things were going on, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
internet, all these things were like really taking off. But the people that were 40, they were really behind so much.
I was laughing because you sound
Like-
extra old when you talk about
No,
the
no,
internet.
exactly. But
Yeah.
I still was on the time that was like the transition
Yeah, for sure. 100%,
between like
yeah.
even connecting the internet through the phone cable,
Yeah, even me too.
right?
Like, I
So
always
you
had-
hear
yeah.
all these like
Yeah.
all these weird noises, and then kind of like exactly the whole like Instagram started, the whole like Facebook everything started
Yeah,
right there. Facebook was starting when I was at uni. So
2006.
exactly. So that's kind of like this whole. If you talk to someone that was 40, then it feels such huge disconnect. So
That makes so much sense because they didn't have internet for their life, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so I saw like I didn't relate at all. Because also like people were like you could compare like analog and digital kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a two
true.
totally different worlds. But I think I would not be so disconnected from a 16-year-old person today. The gap would not be such a big disconnect
Yeah.
if
Probably
we talk
not.
about. You always have your things, right? Like when you
But
are that
maybe
age.
that's because you're like a creative artsy guy. Because what I know is like the young people now, the biggest dream jobs are like YouTuber and content creator, which I think was different
Yeah,
when we were young. Content creator wasn't a thing.
yeah.
You didn't like many people did not have the dream to be a TV person, which is pretty
Yeah.
much the same thing, right?
But content creator could be a lot of like exactly like more connected to art and
Exactly. Like
creating something, right? Like, so I think exactly maybe I relate with that. But for example, with Joshua, like I can have like I almost double your age, and we can still have really good conversation.
Yeah,
If you
for
talk about anything that you talk, maybe not everything, but let's say like we had good conversation about day trading. We had good conversations about crypto. We had good conversations about
Yeah.
TikTok, about certain things, or brand development.
Yeah.
And I think I can learn things from you, but I don't feel like you are talking to a different language to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
Right?
valid
I can
point.
learn things.
Maybe Joshua feels that, but you don't feel that. Right?
Maybe you feel, I don't know, you tell me. Maybe
No,
you
I
feel
don't
that.
necessarily, but also I don't know if I'm the average 22-year-old as well, right? So it's like how I think, how I talk.
like-
And you're also not the average 40-year-old because
yeah,
I think
exactly.
there's people that are 28 that feels like they're 50, you know?
Yeah,
So, yeah. But
that's just true. Yeah.
But that shows, I think, that's a very, from my point of view, that's a very good thing to not be so like oldie, right? You know, like
For example, for me, when I talk to you, I think I learn a lot from you of like what is edge right now when it comes to certain, like let's say technology, and AI, all of these things. I think then I listen a bit different when I listen to you, because I know you're always gonna bring something that is more on the
fresh.
forefront.
Fresh.
to me.
For sure.
That I don't know how I could find that
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah, there's no way.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
maybe you follow different things that I don't follow, or different blogs, or different Reddit, or whatever.
yeah.
yeah.
No,
So-
100%.
But I think that, but still, like you always bring something fresh that I learn from. But I don't know how it's for you. Like, do you think that is such a disconnect from
From you?
exactly when the things that we talk?
No. I mean, I think when you're very into a topic, you're always going to have a disconnect with anyone that is not into the topic. So that's not weird. That's just normal, right? Like, that's why people with similar topics like have like this instant vibe, you know? Like tech people can talk about something tech for a long time.
Yeah.
Sports, you know?
Yeah, bro.
Like people are friends after 10 seconds because they like football.
Yeah.
I think that's like a universal thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, and if you talk to someone, if you meet an artist, you're probably gonna nerd out on something.
So that's probably my biggest fear, to become kind of like irrelevant or disconnected to another generation to talk to. I think that I would not like that.
Right.
But I don't think you ever be like that just because of how you are, like your character, you know.
But I think you can become if you
Yeah, like you
you
could.
don't think
Anybody
about
could
it, right?
become it.
But-
Yeah,
and-
but I
and
just like you wouldn't, you know. Like he would, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like Andres will always be like
the biggest challenge for me, like even thinking right now with my daughter, right? Like she's almost 2, and then thinking about like the whole process, what she's gonna go through her teenage years.
Yeah.
When am I gonna be my age? And is that gonna be that such a disconnect, or is it, am I gonna be, So I think that's kind of like something I don't know yet.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to keep the mindset that is always growing through, instead of becoming like that type of parent, like I went through the same thing when I was your age.
Right.
You have no idea. You need to listen to what I know now, right? Like,
but you didn't go through, right? Because you didn't have TikTok from age 0
Yeah.
and stuff. So but I think that's what everyone says, right? Like that's what, and that's like the thing. People say like, oh, why don't you have a house when you're 25? I had a house when I was 24. Yeah, because it was like, you could, after a year of salary, you could buy a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the same disconnect, right? You don't really understand.
But I think like even like issues that we're having today, like are not gonna be the same issues in 15, 16 years time.
Yeah.
Because also you have more research for things that we have now, right? Exactly, AI or hot topics from today. Because you built a decade of research that shows you that some things were wrong, some things were right.
Yeah.
You always have that, right?
It's true.
So I think the danger is always to think that I also think that the danger for a younger generation is always to think like that everything you have is the latest version upgrade from all the other generations, so you know better. And I think is reinforced a lot today with internet, because you have access to so many more things that your parents didn't have, right? So you can always also go into that trap of knowing like, okay, what I know now, even with your teachers and professors at school, like you could basically know more than them, right?
Or like have
you can prove them wrong.
But I just realized that because like with research and everything, like your doctor that you go to, if they don't care that much about being up to date, they don't know anything, right? And that's a bit scary to think about.
Yeah, and you come as a patient that you can know more about the research than your own doctor, or you can know more about something in school than your own teacher.
Because the information is out there.
I'm not saying that they do. I'm not saying
I know,
trust your
but
doctor,
the possibility,
but
basically.
they like it's in any profession, you need to keep update, right? Like you don't have to be that up there. You just like check a year, check did anything change.
But that's true. Obviously, some industries is more intense than other industries, right? So, like tech is like every second, but everything is changing.
I wanted to say that because it's funny with like tech, for example, like web development that I work in. So everything is really quick, but now it's kind of like, so people that were in the business for 15 years now, I think they're laughing a little bit because now we're back at the same point like 15 years ago. So they were trying a lot of stuff, and then now we're just back at the same way to do things like we did in 98.
Right.
So I was like, so funny, right? Yeah. So if you worked back then, you're probably like, why did we even change anything?
But it's like, that's the thing, we'll never really know till we try. And it's this human thing of like, it's like Andrew said, right? Is this new version the final version? Now most times it's not. But it's like time will tell. Yeah. Which is it's crazy how
it came up in my reels or something this week on YouTube Shorts.
That was heavy.
It came on YouTube Shorts, something of like that, let's say from the Egyptians, like when they built the pyramids, right? That was so many years in history after that there was not such a high construction made by humans until could be like until the Eiffel Tower.
Still a mystery how they did it, right? Like
no still a mystery. But think about like that generation, they were really good in architecture, right? They were really good on something. And it doesn't mean that because a new generation comes that they're gonna always be better at something than the generation before. And I think that's something that I like to think like that as well. That just because I have more technology, more tools, doesn't mean that I'm better than the generation before in everything, right? I can be in certain things, but not in everything. And I think that way, it's always like this tension, right? Like this tension of like learning from the past, but also like what are you bringing
from the future
to the future?
That's so true.
That's true.
Like that makes me think about the article I told you about it. There's this article that talked about how our current generation, like, or everyone that's living right now, we kind of like forgot how to hang out. Like it could be because of Corona, or it could be because we're so structured in our lives. But this article talks about how we are having a high, a lot of people are depressed, a lot of people are very lonely, and they talk about how we kind of lost this way of hanging out that other generations were much better at. For example, I don't know, go and grab a beer but don't have a plan, or because now at work, we have meetings that are most likely they're meeting that start and then you have your meeting and then you end and then you go to the next meeting or you do whatever. But it's thing of, for example, or me, hey Joshua, I'm gonna come over and hang out. You'll be like, bro, don't come, I'm busy, I'm doing this thing, I have this task, I need to do this thing. I thought it was so interesting just the thought about, are we bad at just like vibing?
That's really interesting because that will affect also if we don't know how to date anymore.
Definitely, yeah.
Because dating is basically hanging out with a person.
Dating is just hanging out,
that you like. And I think like if I look back, this beautiful days and months of.
Are we gonna say beautiful girl? But
with a beautiful girl. With Sheila, the beginning of getting to know her, like that time, just the best. Like I remember that we were studying both art, right? So we just took our notebooks and pencil and going to the train station to sit down in the floor and draw some people walking and
sounds like a Hollywood movie.
Really, like, and then go hang out, have something to drink, something.
And you didn't have a task list, right?
You didn't have a task list, and every day was great.
Yeah.
And was exactly that was before social media. So that shows you how old.
True, because now you probably would have. I need to release these 3 TikToks from this hangout.
Yeah, and I need to do like this photo and then like tag her and like. But was such a good. I don't know, such a like, I would not say just innocent, but more like you didn't have so many second thoughts on everything that you are doing.
Right.
You like, this is the thing we are doing.
Will this bring me followers or will this just...
you're just like, this is the thing we're doing. We're just hanging out.
We're just hanging out. There's no like, and I don't know, it doesn't have to be this thing of like, we're trying to achieve something or like, sometimes it's just a means to no end. It's just a means. Yeah.
But I think that brings a lot of depth as well.
Yeah.
Like just having like that because then you talk about the things that you are doing. I remember this one story, like, and that things we share, like that story that we started to think out of talking, like how do because we were trying to draw some emotions and things, and then we started paying attention to the sound. And it's like, how do you draw some sound or noise that's going on in the train station? And then we started drawing like people walking and like these high heels, like really quick sketches. And then I remember I saw this blind man coming with the stick and going through, and I thought like, how can he see? Because he needs to guide himself, even though he cannot see with his physical eyes, but he needs to see with his imagination. So I approach him and say, I'm doing some drawings here. I would like to draw what you're seeing. Can you tell me? And then he kind of like explained me like what he got himself through, and then we were drawing that at the same time he was explaining that. You know, like all these things, moments. I think it just came up on the moment, and it was out of this what you said, like this hangout.
Yeah.
What comes in the moment, and I think maybe you're right. Maybe we lost a bit. I can say also for myself, maybe we lost a bit of this being spontaneous about.
I think that spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, English is hard, you know.
Yeah.
No, I think you're the best at English, right?
But it's spontaneous. But I think it's spontaneity or whatever. But it's wrong. It's probably wrong. It's not.
But I think that's a thing for sure that we have lost. But I think that's gonna be. Can you call it like a content recession? No, but like I think people are gonna think more about these things growing up. Also thinking like, I think we're gonna become better at this because we see that it's lacking. Yeah,
for sure. It's just this, because even some of the generations, like it's shown now, everybody's like, I want to be more. Like first of all, starting with the whole like minimalistic thing of like I want to be less, going back to older. I feel like it's always this thing of like, you know, the old becomes old and then the new becomes old and then the old becomes new and then it's like this pendulum that keeps on going. Like you said, it goes like a cycle and then it's back.
But do you guys feel awkward inviting someone just to hang out?
If it's the right person, no.
Exactly. I think you came to my place this week. I was sick. You brought me some
that was just hanging
some
out,
stuff, and then Sheila said, "Oh, you want to stay for dinner? Sure."
Yeah.
Like we had some dinner, and there was nothing really planned. but I think just because it's you. But I don't.
It depends with the person, right?
I think
Like,
it really depends. And some people, if it's the right person, honestly, it doesn't even feel like time is flying by. It just like it's just super organic. So I don't know. Like I think it's necessary. I just think it's always good when it's with the right people, right?
Yeah.
I think the last thing I would want to ask, so that like before, because I know that slowly
we have so many fun questions, but I don't
like
know.
maybe do rapid fires
We're
a bit, and then let's
yeah, should we do a rapid fire?
Yeah, let's do
Or
rapid fire.
Yeah. What did you want to end like with something?
No,
or?
I didn't want to end. I just also wanted to ask like what you guys think of like what do you guys think like the next 10 years look like for both of you? Because basically in 10 years Isaac will be where you are.
This is one of the questions. It's great.
Yeah. And in 10 years, okay, nobody here is 50, but like, you know, you'll be like where the people that are ahead of you are, and then I'll be like where Isaac is. It will be very nice, perspective to have.
I will be hitting the unknown and letting you guys know how it looks.
Yeah, exactly. So we just learn from you, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like
5-10 years.
Yeah,
I mean, you will have almost a teenage daughter, right?
That's
Probably
true.
a big time in your life.
I know for me, like I want to be hitting something that I'm doing something that's meaningful.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it makes sense what I'm doing.
What does that mean though? What does meaningful mean?
Oh,
well, something that you know that you basically, that's your life. Like what you are doing with your life is not many other decades after that, right? Like you have a few decades left.
Yeah.
And that's it. So if you want to do something with your life, what are you trade that for? Like, is it something meaningful, or is it something that are you doing things to please others? Are you doing things because you want to do that? Are you doing things because you like all these questions that maybe you have more when you are younger? I'm not saying that you don't have fears or you don't have things like that all of that is gone. I'm not looking for that. I'm more looking into whatever I'm trading my time for is as meaning for me. So that I would look back thinking, well, I did something that is
right.
great with my life.
Yeah, like it was a fair trade. It was a trade you were happy, because there's always a trade, right? It's just a trade you need to be happy with.
That's a stereotypical thing that every old person say, that when they die, like when you listen to people, what they say like on their deathbed, it's pretty much like, I wish I did this. They never say like, oh, why did I do that? It's always just, I wish I could try this. I wish I could try this.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a mentality too.
And I think you always have a level of that. Always, I don't think you can ever get rid of like, oh,
you can't try everything also.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't have time.
I already know I'm not gonna be a Formula One driver. Like I'm probably too old.
Probably
for that.
not.
Sheesh. Verstappen.
Like so certain things that I know I'm already not gonna do.
And you probably not be a winner go-kart.
Yeah, when I watched this series, I thought like I had this thought. Well, go-kart, we'll see. We can just
I slid that in.
No. but I was watching this rookie TV show. I'm like, I guess I'll probably never be a cop. Sorry, it sounds so stupid, but it's like, I'm never gonna do that in my life. Someone else can do it, but I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is funny. But what is the things that I want to do, and that I'll be fine with other things I maybe don't get to do.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
That's a good point, though.
And I think a lot comes down to who do you do it with. And I think that's on that side. I just don't want to. I know I have, for example, in that sense, I have a family, I have friends, but I just don't want to skip 10 years and then look back and think, oh, I was all the time focusing on achieving this so much that I forgot to take care of these other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think for you, that's true. That's true.
I don't know if you think about like relationships, they break all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't break from one day to the next.
Yeah, it breaks is like a small thing, right? You chip at it.
And that can happen to anyone. That's what I mean. Like in the moment you think, I think for me, in the moment I think I'm above that, is where you're ready to fail.
Danger, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, but also you can't keep every relationship, right? I think this is even in another conversation of like, because I don't know, maybe you guys can correct me, but it's always been for me like seasons. Like, and I think there are like relationships that outlast multiple seasons, and then there are relationships that don't. And not in this thing way, but it's like, for example, I know once I graduate uni, I'll probably never talking to anybody from there in my life. Like, not in a bad way, just like the relationship was very like clear. This is it. We're in the group together. We got you know, 100% score, good job, we're done here. You know what I mean?
Imagine
Work
like,
relationship, yeah.
It was for example.
Imagine we keep doing the podcast for next 10 years, eh?
Yeah.
I hope that's what we're
Crazy,
planning
eh?
to do.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, we're not.
Why not?
But like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's a valid point. I just never. Sometimes it's always been like, I think the relationship has to serve, and I don't know. I don't think it's like super crazy to see it as like it's transaction. Like, I think two people have to feel like this thing is fun, worth it for them, for it to last long term. If there are multiple parties involved in a relationship, it has to, like, everybody has to feel like they're taking something away. If not, it's not going to last over time.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I think that's because everybody's growing. Like we always talk about, you're always trading, but it's like if the trade, everybody's okay with the trade, then it's fine. The moment there's dissatisfaction in the trade, then that's when it's like, and it's not bad, it's just the reality.
But I feel like the older I get, the less transactional relationship matters. Like you care less about them.
Really?
Like, I mean, you need them for work and stuff, of course, and business and everything. But like, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe like the closest thing I can think about is maybe you have a friend that all you do is watch football. I don't know, and that's your like watch football friend. Which that makes sense. But what I mean like I guess like you think maybe less about what you get from the, like, you mean like transaction, you get something?
No, so exactly, it's less about you. So what I mean is that, like, I feel like even, I don't know, you guys can correct me, but like even the closest of relationships are always transactional, right? Like, there's this thing I like, because I've been trying to think about a lot of things. What do I believe? So, example, what do I believe? Like, what is love? What is wisdom? What is intelligence? What is learning? Right? And for example, it's like, I would maybe say love is like my ability to go through stressful scenarios with you, the depth to which I'm able to do that. So, for example, the amount of love Andres has for Joy is the depth to which he can go through stressful, unnecessarily annoying scenarios for his daughter. Like, the degree to which he can do that is how much he loves her. So, for example, I cannot
hold 10 minutes.
So I would assume. So, for example, I would assume that the depth to which maybe Andres would go through an annoying, stressful, and like just bad scenarios for me would be a lot less than he would do for Joy. So internally, you love Joy more than me because you can do more. Like, you can go through more negative feedback loops for her, and it's like a spectrum. And the depth to which you can do that is how much you define your love.
Interesting,
right? So
I never thought about love like that. Like,
because I've been trying to
on a level.
I'm trying to like, I don't know, like, put mental models behind these things, right? It's like, because we say a lot of words, but like, what do they actually mean? Like, for example, you were like, when you just said,
you even make love unsexy. that's your superpower.
Because I feel like if you think about it that way, then it's easy to be like, okay, that's what that is. You know, because I feel like sometimes we say, oh, I want something that's meaningful.
You look at your friend like 20% love.
I don't think I would quantify it that way, but I think it's easier to differentiate. So it doesn't have to be a number, but it's more like if one or two, two. Like, you can like, because I think it's not about like saying you love someone more than you do, but I think it's first of all defining these things of like knowing, okay, this is this and this and that. But what I meant in transactional relationships is that, okay, like even the relationships that you love, the two parties have to get something away from it. So, for example, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not married, but I think in any relationship that there are two people involved, don't two people have to feel like they are benefiting from the other person? And like, also, for example, if you're married to your wife needs to feel like, oh my God, I'm a better person when I'm with Isaac. I feel like da-da-da-da-da with Isaac. Isaac also feels like with you, da-da-da-da-da. With you, da-da-da-da-da.
I think marriage is very interesting there, because I think if you want to get into a marriage with someone, you should feel like that is on the table. But then when you're in the marriage, that might, like, stuff happens and maybe it doesn't, it's not like that currently or anything like that. And then you can't just quit it. I mean, you could.
But so what I'm saying is that love is the depth to which you can go. Maybe, for example, like the depth of love you have for someone is like, maybe I could go 10 years of that happening without getting a positive feedback loop. And I would wait. So, for example, parents love their children because they could go 18 years of the child being like a whole hooligan and not doing the things he could do because they have like a deeper tolerance for them. And the people who they love less, they have less tolerance of not getting a positive feedback. So maybe, for example, with your wife, with your girlfriend, maybe the last time you had a positive feedback was when you guys were dating. But you guys are married and for 20 years you haven't had a positive feedback, but the positive feedback when you guys were dating was so strong that it can last you 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm defining that.
Such an interesting.
It's just like I'm still. Topic. It's not like I've like put my whole point on these things. It's more like stuff that I feel like I'm still mentally chewing on. I'm still chewing on it.
Yeah. I never thought about it in this way.
I would say like I would not recommend to go 20 years without
positive feedback loop.
Exactly, because that's not a good recipe for success.
But with a kid, you can go 70 years and your kid could be horrible for 70 years and you will still love it.
And parents do that
but
all the time.
I think also because it's the law, right? That you need to take care of that kid.
No, I don't.
No, just kidding.
No, but that's the thing. That's the weird thing with love, right?
I know.
Your kid could be the worst thing that ever happened to you, but the love, I think, would be there.
I think exactly something strong, something for sure is something stronger there. Yeah. But I think like you get that positive feedback as well. Like for example, Joy can right now she's with her tantrums and all these things, she can get really annoyed, but then she just does a little smile to you or comes a little hug or kiss, and that tops up your tank 100% really quick. Yeah. And I think so you always get that feedback as well, because would be really. But I think like I can imagine if the kid has like some physical or mental handicap or deficiencies for that can be really tough.
Yeah.
Then it's where would you see that love as a parent really extreme.
Yeah.
Because then you can be taking care of a child that is like unable to express anything towards you.
Yeah.
And you are 100% loving that kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that is like what you see that as an extreme. What you're saying,
exactly.
the love
for sure.
Exactly.
So I really have like big respect for people that do that, because I think like you have a supernatural force to do that.
And I think the point I'm trying to throw out is like I think like defining that, not defining it, but like that's the depth to which you love somebody, right? Because it's like if maybe I don't know if I would do that for a work colleague. I don't think I would wait 20 years of them going from 0 to being 18, their own adult,
for sure not.
to wait for them to give me negative. I wouldn't do that for them.
Yeah.
So probably so based on this definition, I probably love my daughter more than I love my work colleague. Not in a bad way, but I won't wait 20 years for you to get your life together.
Yeah.
But I'll probably wait for my kid 20. I'm just saying, like, for example, that's a good definition.
I mean, I guess you don't even love 0%. You don't have to love your coworker, right? Or like, I mean, like you love your person, like as a human, you love them, or like I don't know. I haven't put love as a word on
a work colleague.
But I mean, that's kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, but we could put that on comma anything, right? I think I just chose work colleague because I think it's very clear. You can clearly see the differences. But I don't know. Like this is an example of
just to wrap up on that. I think like I can imagine also, let's say with your wife or with your partner, like you also go through different seasons, and I think I never see it like as a 50-50 transaction.
No, it's never
love, so some seasons you are like giving more, some seasons the other person's giving more. I think that's always like goes both ways, because we are all humans. We have our ups and downs and emotions. But I think that's the cool thing about that relationship, that then the other person kind of like picks that up and say like, okay, I'm able to give more in this season. And also vice versa.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's what's so powerful about those kinds of relationships, because then that's what I'm saying, is that there's still always feedback. Like even if, because the feedback when it came was so good that you can wait for maybe a season when it's not, and then you trust that the other person will have your back to, kind of pick up, and you would also do the same thing when the tables are, the table is turned or whatever. But yeah, this is like completely different. Like
that was interesting. That was interesting though. We'll see what you as a listener. What do you think? Do you have a love meter?
Spectrum. Is it?
Put it in the comments. Have
you ever talked about this?
This would be great for the comments. I would like to hear.
Yeah, please, like that. Please say what's our love level on your spectrum.
0.1.
I have so many funny questions here. Can we do one more? Yeah. We'll do a quick fire.
Yeah, quick fire. No long answers.
Does getting old scare you?
Not anymore.
anymore? Cause
Not anymore, no.
but when you were younger, you did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like with sports.
Okay.
If you're old, you're useless.
Can I answer with a percentage?
How many percent are scared? Yeah.
So, it's 60-40, 60 not, 40 yes.
So 40% scared.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a valid. I feel like, I feel like it's more reality for you than for me, for example.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess also that's depending where you are in life, because I think my scare of getting older is very low, and I think it's always been very low. Maybe that's like maybe that's because. How do I not sound pretentious? I thought maybe that's because of I had like constant success in life, but you're gonna have periods where there's like really tough stuff going on, and that's gonna happen. You know, that's how life works. And then maybe it's more like much scarier thinking about the future.
Yeah. I think my answer is also related to, let's say, things that you know that you're getting. Let's say when you get older, things that maybe are thinking like I will not be able to enjoy because of your own body, like getting older.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Plus, like your child is also, you know, like growing, and you don't, like, I don't know, like you don't want to miss being able to enjoy more things. So kind of like I think it's more that way, that the fear part.
Okay, health is scary.
Yeah, I guess from that side, yeah.
So I'm trying to keep myself good, but I think like you never know what can hit in the future, and then that's the thing of like not being able to enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly. That's why I said it's valid. It's such a valid one. But it's like this thing of like, what do you say? If you don't use it, you lose it with health, like exercising. Like if you don't like stay on it and keep on pressing, especially in the old, like with my dad as well. I just tell him all the time, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, cool.
You just like. If you don't use, like, no matter how athletic, because my dad is like, was super athletic and everything, but it's like,
so you use your body, otherwise you lose your body and dies.
Like if you don't use the athleticism, I mean, if you don't use the, you lose it. You lose it. Yeah,
it's easy to remember things.
Yeah, that's good. I don't want to lose my body. I need to start using it. Oh my goodness.
Your brain.
I'm wrapping that up now. I'm wrapping it up.
Yeah, you're
wrapping
it up. Yeah. We didn't get to the last question.
I mean, like I feel like we can't do them quick. Maybe like I said, one was like, do you like birthdays?
No.
That would have been a better early question.
No.
No?
No, like I won't like it's fun to have everybody around you, but it's like just a reminder that time is going.
I think I'm so random. Like I'm sometimes like, Sheila, this year I don't want to do anything for my birthday.
And then 2 days before.
And then next year it's like, why are we not doing anything? Like, let's celebrate. Let's do something really cool. Like, let's go kart. Everyone there. Like, and then after, do you remember we did go kart? 1 hour from Berlin. We came back and we did volleyball.
What? Did we do volleyball?
Yeah, we did volleyball in the afternoon.
Wow.
With more people.
Yeah, true.
So
I remember.
Yeah. So and this year nothing.
Everyone was super tired already.
I know. So excited. And I'm thinking like,
sick, though.
how did they plan to do volleyball after go karting? Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm a bit random in that sense.
That was funny because everyone was waiting there like an hour before we even arrived, and we were tired and hadn't eaten something. Yeah.
But what of you? Do you like birthdays?
Birthdays, no.
Yeah.
I don't like I think this is the competitive person. I mean, I love attention, but I don't like birthday attention because I didn't do anything to earn that.
Yeah,
wow. Exactly.
I think that's what feels weird about it. I think that's
it's weird to get attention without doing something, but that's weird because my ego is big. Like if I actively do something, I want the attention.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Do a psychoanalysis.
It kind of feels like it's like there's a good trait here going on.
So in that sense, the birthday from my daughter, it really feels like an achievement for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, because like, I made it.
That's like...
I made it 1 year good. I made it 2 years good.
Yeah.
I thought because I created this.
Exactly.
And created and it's good. It's going good.
Yeah. Low-key, it's the parents that are benefiting mentally.
Maybe that's how it works, The birthdays are for your parents, not for you. Boom.
That's funny. Cool. All right.
Okay. Cool. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Got any sick pics loaded up?
Yeah.
I sneakily thought about some 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. I think I try to keep my sick pics similar to what's going on in my life right now. And because the one thing that's going on with my life consistently is projects. This is going to sound crazy, guys. But I'm sick picking my uni. I'm sick picking my uni. I'm sorry, guys.
What's the name of uni?
The name of my uni is Technische Hochschule Wildau. So it's Technical University of Applied Sciences.
Okay.
Wildau. Let me say it in English. Wildau. So it's a
Wildau.
Wildau.
So if you want to meet Joshua, get to talk to the non-Berlin Berliner.
Yeah,
you know,
you can
go to same.
Yeah,
school
exactly.
Can
together.
you refer people? Get some money?
Yeah, technically also the A levels. You know, if you wanna, actually, I could refer you to the A levels. If
Can
you
they-
wanna
can-
get into A levels, and
Can they
study-
sponsor us?
Maybe.
future?
Nah, actually, it's not a bad idea though. If you are interested, like it's a real thing. Like I'm being actually serious now.
Yeah.
If you actually want to,
We branded to them. We're a growth learning podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Society is the thing that I saw.
Yeah, guys. If you want to get into the engineering part
Hey.
in German, it's definitely like I would like the university is one of the best, and like all the companies we apply to, they're like, yeah, the people who come from this university are solid.
Nice.
We have one of the best libraries in Germany, but also the reason why the uni is so good is because first of all, it was like where they used to make the weapons for World War, and like they've always been mechanical
Nazi
engineers
uni?
there,
Okay,
and then they
okay,
turned
okay.
it into like a. They've been doing engineering stuff for a long time. So it was first the factory, and then it became like an Ausbildung place where they just made mechanics, and then they turned that into a uni. So it's like we're very like the uni has just like the university is built just like how it was. The trains that they made in I don't know those days is still there in the same. The tracks are still there, so it's super.
Cool.
There's a lot of history to the
Yeah,
university.
so get a sponsor. We're only borrowing these mics, so maybe we can buy some real
Yes.
mics.
Yeah, maybe we get. I'm serious, bro. We get some sponsors. If you want to go into the A levels, like learn English, go to German. You hop on that. You support the podcast.
It's not a bad idea. This high budgets with getting people to study, right?
Yeah, especially because the thing is, the university is public, so it's free. But the A level that helps people go from not knowing German to knowing German, that's paid.
Do they want to reach people that speak English? Do they want to reach non-Berliners?
They want international people coming.
Okay.
They want like
Sponsor
that's
us.
why I'm there.
Yeah,
like,
non-Berlin Berliners.
it makes them
Podcast for
feel
it.
better.
Yeah.
Like I'm the only black person in the entire engineering.
You're gonna be on the newspaper, like on the front.
Can we do
front page.
posters from non-Berlin Berliners? Put it up there.
Nah, that's funny. But anyway, so that's my sick pick. I've been at uni
that's good.
every day
Cool.
over the last 2 weeks. So it's been crazy.
My sick pick is on the other spectrum from Joshua. This super like learning.
Yeah.
My sick pick is super simple. Going currently of what happened in my last 2 weeks, being sick at home. Sick. The sick pick is tick tick boom.
The song.
I said it before.
Yeah.
I cannot think about anything else.
Your
but it's been.
sickness pick.
If you want to play on repeat a song to your 2-year-old kid, great song for it. You do a great workout. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And
It's a very niche market for people that.
yeah. It's a really niche. But that's how you need to be today, right?
Yeah.
Really niche market.
We're going in. We're going niche.
I would say 1.5 to 2.5-year-old kid will enjoy this song.
Yeah.
So,
Tick, tick,
yes,
boom.
yeah, tick, tick, boom.
Nice.
Tick,
Who's the
boom.
artist?
I don't know. Sorry.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find the
That's good.
artist.
Okay, I will sick pick eBay Kleinanzeigen.
eBay Kleinanzeigen. What's
Hey,
going on
that was
today?
my second
We're like
sick
I was scared that you were gonna sick pick it.
Yeah, that's
I was
funny.
scared. Nice. It's just good. If you haven't used it, it's just it's the secondhand app for Germany, pretty much. It's just great.
Yeah, super
I
good.
bought a pair of double pedals yesterday for pretty much half the price, and they look new. I bought. What did I buy more? I bought like headphones there. That was pretty much new also. And you save money. I bought like a PlayStation controller, like everything. So much.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it.
I would add to that that it's not only a sick pick about an app, it's actually a sick pick about a way of thinking.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Before you go to Amazon, check if you can get it there. Before you go to, you know, like
Exactly.
it's a way of like, the more you do it, the more you are on it.
Yeah.
You're giving a second life to things, and you can reuse stuff.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice for
honestly,
it.
you get great deals. Like, you get great deals.
Yeah.
I think I'm lazy. That's just the only thing. So you have to handle like the whole like go there, pick it up, da. But honestly, if you're not sure and you want to get a great deal, you can get really solid stuff.
Yeah. You can do a lazy search. You can search only in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you just go around the corner
Exactly.
and get something. And
Yeah.
if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you live in Königs Wusterhausen, nothing for
Well,
you. But
yeah.
love it.
If you live in Berlin.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. This was a pleasure to be back.
Best.
Hopefully we can be more consistent. I think.
Yes. Yeah,
I think we
thanks.
can. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on TikTok.
Guys, tick to talk.
TikTok.
Tick, tick, boom.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, boom. have a listen. You're gonna love it this week.
Yeah, true. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.